Wife, Deborah Corey, for legal fees after she was arrested for check fraud. Deborah claims the money was never a loan.
Mr. Ennis, you and Miss Corey were briefly married. Your marriage was annulled, according to your complaint. Sometimes after the marriage was annulled, you sort of got back together again, and I think lived together for a while.
For a little while, yes.
It was during that time that Miss Corey somehow got involved with a bad check, which she's going to explain to me. And she was arrested.
Correct.
Had some legal fees that she promised to pay you back.
Correct.
Miss Corey says that she never promised to pay you back and that you really didn't have legal fees. What you did was you bartered with a lawyer to do some work on his car, so you never actually paid the lawyer any money. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So now you're going to tell me under what circumstances you were arrested.
I have some documents that you may look at. They're pugs that I was trying to sell.
Can I see those photographs? You were trying to sell some puppies.
Yes, that my purebred pug had. During the course of the time, I posted an ad on the internet, and I got a lot of responses from all over. And one of them was from a gentleman somewhere in Nigeria. Find this out later. Anyway, I had 2 checks.
So somebody from Nigeria answered your ad.
That's correct. And we made arrangements to meet.
Where were you living?
Well, I was living in San Pedro with Mr. Ennis. He was living at my location.
And where was the person from Nigeria staying?
Well, he wasn't really going to come here. He was going to have his vet meet me. And I said, well, we'll work on that, but he would send me the checks. So he actually sent me the checks in the mail. There was 2 checks.
For how much?
So I had discussed it with Mr. Ennis.
How much were the checks for?
Both of them were $3,500 each.
So you were selling 2 puppies for $3,500 each.
Actually, there was 7 puppies altogether.
So you were selling him all 7?
Well, he actually only wanted to buy 2.
I just said you were selling him 2 puppies for $3,500 each. Didn't you hear what I said?
Well, yes, I did, but the $3,500 was supposed to cover the actual cost of the puppy and some other stuff. So it was...
What other stuff?
He said that he was going to give me extra money for all my troubles and stuff. So he sent me a check for $3,500. I was supposed to go to the bank, deposit the check. It turned out it was a scam. The whole thing was a scam.
Well, you were depositing the money, but you were supposed to send some money back to him.
Well, yes, that's correct.
Of course it was correct.
Yes.
He's sending you all this money. You deposit the money, and then you wire him back some of the money. Is that right?
Well,
I got it.
It never transpired that way.
I got it. Yeah.
And at the time, he was in Sacramento with my son, visiting with his sister, and he felt really bad that I got arrested, so he went ahead and took care of everything. So I'll take care of the attorney fees. And
Fine.
The way he was
I just wanted to know what you got arrested for. Now I come to you. All right, so now she's busted in the bank for cashing this bad check in a scheme where she was going to get some money back, cash this check. The puppies are very nice.
They were nice puppies.
Very nice puppies, but the whole scheme was they were sending her checks. She was going to cash the checks and send them back some money, like money laundering.
I don't know about that, but I just know that my son and I, we went up skiing for the holidays, and he was in the car when I got the call that she was arrested, and I kept it from him at that time. And I made several phone calls to get her out of jail, and I did. And then when we came back home, he says, Deb, I'll get you an attorney, and we'll get you through this, because it was a scam. I really believe it was a scam. I says, but this is a loan. This is not a gift. I do want my money back when you get your income tax.
How much money did you actually spend, Mr.
I spent over $10,000 to get her out of this jam.
Show me.
Here's from the attorney, his bill for $7,500.
Show me a check that you paid it.
I bartered and I did pay him, but I didn't bring a check. I know. I watch your show all the time. I know.
Mr. Ennis, I can't help you, sir.
I'd like to see a canceled check myself.
I'm not speaking to you. Mr. Ennis.
Would you read this?
No.
No, okay.
I want your check that you paid him, not that you bartered to fix his car. I want you to show me a canceled check that you paid him. That's what you pay a lawyer, in canceled check.
I did a lot of work for his cars and his wife's cars, and I asked him to give me a breakdown, and this is what he wrote, and he says this should be fine, so.
It's not fine,
okay.
Mr. Ennis. I don't take barter, sir, for legal fees as money that the defendant owes you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all.
Why does our excuse you may step out?
I got her out of jail. I spent over $10,000 of my money so she could walk, and says, I am not going to pay.
During the time we were together, he never, ever said to me I had to pay him back. He's only doing it out of spite because I'm in another relationship.
I don't agree with anything that she does or anything that she believes in.
We've had our differences, but I'm really disappointed that it's turned out that way.
Be nice and pay him back. It's not that big of a deal.